Hi guys, my name is Lucas Zalesny, and today in a few minutes I just wanted to talk about a meta description. Meta description, which is very often an orphan child of an SEO strategy. The reason why it's orphan child often it's because Google said in 2009 that meta description is not a ranking factor per se. What does it mean, however, is that there are non-direct ways to improve your performance with the right usage of meta description. Now, what are these things? The simplest one, the most common one, is to use a properly written meta description. And that way, you will be able to increase your click-through rate. But let's go step by step. So first of all, a very simple rule, that's the rule number one, that generally, despite from the fact what you see in Google, you should operate with 130 to 150 characters length of meta description. And if you will see here, I just wrote meta description as a keyword. You see my advice is 160 characters, the author said here, and obviously various authors will have a little different opinion, but I think if you will go into 150 160 characters you should be alright. Otherwise the meta description will be cutted, as you can see here, or you can see here. The next thing is what to write in meta description. Take a closer look. If I will write, for example, holidays to Egypt, then every time Google will find a meta description that contain that keyword, the keyword will be bolded. The second thing, on the beginning of this, I said that meta description should be written convincing way, descriptive way. You shouldn't share too much because obviously you, at the end of the day, want a click in that link. So this one that I highlighted, great deals on holidays to Egypt, including last minute, all-inclusive and 2021-2022 holidays. Book now with a low deposit of just £30 per person. So a lot of great information here. We have there are last minute, there are all-inclusive. We know that they are current year and the year after the current year. We also have here the deposit is only £30 per person. So when I will click here and I will go to that page, then I know that if I'm looking for holidays to Egypt, that probably will be a good website, good page, and it will answer my the question I have or the problem I have. It will bring the solution for that problem. But there is also something else I wanted to mention. It could be potentially considered as a part of the meta description. You have in some cases this lovely internal links, and these internal links are taking you deeper to that page, to specific sections. Take a look. You see, I've been automatically scrolled into the right place on the page. If I will go here, you see, all-inclusive holidays to Egypt, and there is something about culture in Egypt. So that's the link I just clicked. So here is #culture. These links are called by some people jump links, and they work like Wikipedia, which you can see here. I just have word London as a keyword, and here is plenty of jump links. Now, you may ask me a question, okay, Lucas, but how can I implement something like that on my website? Well, if this is WordPress, it's very simple. There is plenty of plugins that can generate something like that. Let me mention table of content, easy table of content, AirTalk, and so on and so on. So like I said, jump links and all this module we will be calling a table of content. So based on your headers H2, H3, H4, and based on how you will configure your website, then you will get this kind of table automatically generated. So let me show you an example. That's my website, and I have here article about digital marketing strategy for hotels, and here we have jump links to specific sections. Yeah. And what does it give us, except of the fact that we have here these lovely jump links that I showed you? Well, in some cases, as the one that I'm showing you here, there is some additional way of making meta description more attractive. I just typed keyword how to focus on study, and as you can see here on the position 50, I have cognitiontoday.com learn how to increase concentration and focus while ... Title tag is too long, but we are not here to talk about title tag today. But and here is a jump to tips on how to change your beliefs. So let's see where this lovely jump link exists. I will copy this and I will go here, and I will go here, and again the hero of the day, the table of content, is here. When you click, then you're going into specific area that been even highlighted by Chrome, because the new version of Chrome is highlighting this sometimes, especially when you're entering through featured snippet. The downside of this is that unfortunately there is this hash added to URL. So thanks to that, the browser is able to scroll you into the desired section. Let me go upstairs here, and we can go into other section, and so on and so on. But unfortunately, if someone will visit your website from link like this one instead of this one, then the URL is different, and it sometimes builds a mess in your Google Analytics or Google Search Console. Yeah, so you need to make sure that when you, for example, looking at the performance of specific page, and Google decided to show you this kind of jump links, make sure that you will first exclude everything what is after hash, and that way you will get only the core. So that's very helpful when you're trying to aggregate data, and that will give you the overall traffic that is there, delivered on the specific page. What else I can say? We were talking about Wikipedia. Maybe not everyone knows that Wikipedia is refraining from using meta description. So if I will go here, you see meta, there is absolutely nothing. We can go like that, just to give you description, nothing, without a quotation mark, nothing. So you can see that in some cases using meta description may not be essential. And why it's like that? Generally because when I will type London, then Wikipedia potentially is giving opportunity for Google to choose what Google thinks is the most relevant. So we have here this sentence, and this is the first sentence from this article. You need to remember that meta description, and in some cases title tag as well, they may act a bit weird. So if Google decide by some reasons, sometimes only known to Google, that your meta description is not relevant, not right property, maybe there are some typos, maybe there is like too much optimization, or you over optimize this meta description, Google reserves the right to choose something else from your page and replace your meta description with that sentence. And sometimes you may be a bit upset because that's are not maybe sometimes the best part of the text used as meta description. In that case, I would recommend you to rewrite your original meta description following like 130, 150 characters, and make sure that you are writing this different way. Finally, we started and we were saying about the length, and most of the time, yes, 130, 150 character works, but in some cases, sometimes there are much longer meta description. So I cannot find this right now, but sometimes you will see a block of text. Let me see, for example, where to buy property in UK now. And you can see that Homes and Property Co UK have this long meta description. That's way more than 150 characters, and I can do a test. I will use len, and this is 222 characters. But many times this is not the desired meta description by author. This is something that Google decided to take and replace. So let's take a piece of this text. Let's try to find, okay, this is the paragraph that's been used. And now let's try to find what was in the meta description tag. The meta description is something like in property as in comedy, timing is everything. Very kind of creative, but maybe Google by some reason decided not to use this one. So once again, this paragraph, this paragraph of text was used and replaced the original meta description that you can see here. What kind of errors you may have? That's quite simple. You go into SEO, to go into Semrush. I have here SEO.London. The crawl was in Saturday, January 23rd, and I can see here I have 2 duplicate meta descriptions. So as you know, meta descriptions, the same as title tag, they need to be unique across a website. So you cannot have 2 pages that have the same meta description or that have the same title tag. And aside of this, SEMrush is checking a couple of more issues, so I don't have any errors. Here we can see like 0 pages don't have meta description, so I did not forgot to use meta description. I always set this up. However, in 2 cases I set up the duplicated one, which I will fix right after this video. And that is pretty much it what I wanted to pass. Like I said, meta description is a little like an orphan child of SEO. Maybe only meta keywords are less used, because obviously, as we know, meta keywords are not working for many years. They are not considered at all as any factor. But once again, it's worth to follow a couple of simple rules. As a recap, let me say the length 130, 150 characters. Make sure that you're using table of content because you may get the benefit of extra links. Make sure that you also have a proper internal structure because you will get on the bottom of meta description some site links. Remember that Google have a right to, or reserves the right to use some other part of the text for your website, from your website as a meta description. And remember that in some cases, like Wikipedia is one of the greatest example, meta descriptions are not essential. And that was me, Lucas Zalesny from SEO.London, and thank you very much for listening to my short video. Take care.